What if I told you that your dog has been saying, "I love you" every single day, and you've been completely ignoring it? Not because you don't care, but because nobody ever told you what it actually looks like. And here's the part that might sting a little. Some of the things you thought were signs of love, they're not. And some of the things you've been dismissing as weird or annoying behavior, those are the real ones. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the way you see your dog is going to change completely. Let's start with something that happens in almost every home with a dog. You walk through the front door after a long day. Your dog goes absolutely crazy, jumping, barking, spinning in circles, licking your face, and you think, wow, my dog really loves me. And sure, your dog is happy to see you. But here's the thing. Most people don't understand. That explosive reaction at the door is not actually the deepest expression of love your dog is capable of. It's excitement, it's stimulation, it's a rush of energy. But love, real deep canine love, it looks very different. And this is where it gets interesting, because the signs your dog truly loves you are quiet. They're subtle. They're easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 of those signs, one by one. Not the obvious ones you already know about, the real ones. The ones rooted in dog psychology that most owners spend years living with and never fully understand. Let's talk about the first sign, and I promise this one is going to surprise you. Have you ever noticed that your dog chooses to sleep near you or on you, even when there's a perfectly comfortable dog bed on the other side of the room? Maybe they curl up at the foot of your bed. Maybe they press their back against your leg on the couch. Maybe they just lay on the floor beside your chair, even when you're not paying attention to them at all. And most people think, oh, that's sweet, my dog just likes being close. But what's actually happening goes so much deeper than that. Dogs are den animals. In the wild, a dog will only sleep in close physical proximity to the animals it trusts, completely. Sleep for a dog is a moment of total vulnerability. Their guard is down, their senses are partially shut off, and in that state, a dog's brain is wired to seek safety. So when your dog chooses you as their sleep companion, even when they have other options, they are not just being cuddly. They are telling you something profound. You are their safe place. You are the one creature on earth they trust with their most vulnerable moment. That is not comfort-seeking. That is devotion. But here's the part most people miss. It's not just about where they sleep. It's about the position. A dog that sleeps with their back against you, or their face turned toward you, is communicating something very specific. They feel safe enough to let their guard down completely. And for an animal hardwired for survival, that is one of the most powerful emotional statements they can make. So the next time your dog chooses the cold floor beside your chair over the plush dog bed across the room, don't just smile and move on. Understand what they just told you. Now let's move to the second sign. And this one is going to make you think back to moments you probably didn't give enough credit to. You're having a bad day. Maybe you've been crying, or you're stressed, or you're just sitting in silence because life feels heavy, and your dog walks over. They don't jump on you or demand attention. They just quietly sit beside you. Maybe they put their head on your lap. Maybe they just lean into you slightly, and then they stay there, not moving, not nudging you to play, just being with you. Most people think this is just their dog looking for attention. But here's what's actually happening inside your dog's brain. Dogs have an extraordinary ability to read human emotional states. Research has shown that dogs can detect shifts in your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. They can hear changes in your heart rate. They can smell the biochemical changes in your body when you're experiencing emotional distress. And when they detect that, many dogs, especially those deeply bonded to their owner, will instinctively move toward them and stay. This behavior is called emotional attunement, and it's not something all dogs do with all people. They do it with the person they are most deeply connected to. When your dog comes to sit with you in your pain without asking for anything in return, that is not coincidence. That is love expressed through presence. And that is one of the purest forms of it. But that's not the real reason this matters. Because what most dog owners don't realize is that this behavior is also a mirror. Your dog is not just responding to your emotions, they are sharing them. Studies in canine psychology have found that dogs in close bonds with their owners actually experience a form of emotional synchrony, meaning their emotional state begins to align with yours. Your sadness doesn't just trigger a response in your dog. It becomes a shared experience. When you feel that weight beside you on a hard day, your dog isn't just sitting there. They are with you in the truest sense of the word. Let's talk about sign number 3, because this one gets misread constantly, and it causes real problems in the relationship between dogs and their owners. Your dog brings you things. A sock, a toy, a stick from outside, sometimes something they're not even supposed to have. And most people either think it's cute or they get annoyed because the dog took something they shouldn't have. But the reason behind this behavior is something completely different from what most people assume. In dog psychology, giving is an act of trust and inclusion. When a wild canine finds something valuable, whether it's food or an object, sharing it with another member of the pack is a bonding behavior. It says, "I value you enough to give you something I have." When your dog brings you their favorite toy, they are not just playing. They are offering you something precious to them. They are including you in their world. They are saying, "I want to share this with you." Now here is where it gets really interesting. The dogs that bring objects to their owners most consistently, not just when you have food, sometimes they'll just be lying across the room and they'll look at you and hold it. And in that moment, something chemical is actually happening inside both of you. When a dog makes soft, relaxed eye contact with their person, both the dog and the human release oxytocin, the exact same bonding hormone released between mothers and newborn babies. Scientists have called this the love gaze loop. Your dog looks at you, oxytocin rises in both of you, the bond deepens, the dog looks again. So when your dog catches your eye from across the room and just holds it for a moment before looking away, they are not being weird. They are not staring you down. They are bonding with you in the most ancient, chemical, neurological way that mammals are capable of. They are literally flooding both of your nervous systems with the hormone of connection and love. And most people never knew it was happening. But here's where I want you to pause for a moment. Because sign 5 is the one that I think is most commonly misunderstood, and it's the one that creates the most distance between dogs and their owners without anyone realizing it. Your dog follows you from room to room. Kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, doesn't matter. You get up, they get up. You move, they move. And so many people either find this endearing but don't think much of it, or worse, they find it annoying. They'll say, "My dog has no independence, my dog is clingy, my dog has separation issues." And yes, extreme cases of this can be anxiety-related. But in a healthy, well-adjusted dog, this behavior is something entirely different. Dogs are pack animals, and in a pack, movement is coordinated. The pack moves together. Resting together, traveling together, being in the same space is not just preference. It is the fundamental structure of how dogs understand safety and belonging. When your dog follows you through your house, they are not being needy in the way we think of human neediness. They are expressing pack loyalty. You are their pack. Their instinct, hardwired over thousands of years, says the pack stays together. And because they love you, you are the center of their world. The dangerous mistake here is when owners consistently push the dog away, tell them to stay, close doors, create barriers. And I want to be clear. There are times when this is appropriate and necessary. But if it becomes the default, if the dog repeatedly tries to stay near you and repeatedly gets shut out, something happens over time. The dog doesn't become more independent. They become more anxious. Their attempts at connection keep getting rejected. And a dog that is consistently rejected in its attempts to bond will either become more desperate or will emotionally withdraw, and neither of those is good. Let's talk about sign 6, because this one is quick, but it matters more than you might think. Your dog yawns when you yawn. You've probably noticed this and maybe thought it was just a coincidence. Maybe you were tired, and they were tired. But here's what science has found. Dogs are one of the only animals besides humans and a few primates that actually catch yawns from the people they're bonded to. This is called contagious yawning, and it is considered a marker of deep social connection and empathy. In human research, the closer people feel emotionally, the more likely they are to catch each other's yawns. And dogs do the same thing, but only with their people. Not with strangers. Not with just any human. With you. It sounds almost too small to matter. A yawn. But what it represents is a nervous system that is so attuned to yours that it mirrors your involuntary biological responses. That level of attunement is not nothing. That is a bond operating beneath the surface of what either of you is consciously doing. And when your dog catches your yawn, something in them is saying, I am with you. I am here. I feel what you feel. Sign 7 might be the most misunderstood of all, and I want to take some time here because getting this wrong can seriously affect your relationship with your dog. Your dog leans on you, not jumps, not paws at you, just quietly leans their body weight into your legs or your side. Sometimes they'll press their head against you. Sometimes it's a full side lean. And the most common response people have to this is to step away because it physically gets in the way, or to pat the dog and move on without really registering what just happened. The lean is one of the most direct physical expressions of trust and love in canine body language. A dog that leans into you is literally giving you their weight. They are pressing their body against yours and trusting that you will hold them. This behavior is rooted in early developmental experiences. Puppies pile against their mothers and siblings for warmth and security. That physical contact becomes neurologically associated with safety, love, and well-being. When your adult dog leans into you, they are tapping into that same deep emotional circuitry. You are their warmth. You are their safety. You are the one they want to press against when the world feels like a lot. And here's the part that changes. How you should respond. When your dog leans and you step away or brush them off without acknowledging it, your dog experiences that as rejection at a neurological level. The same circuitry that makes the lean feel like safety to them is the